Most people think overdosing on a nutrient is almost impossible. Yet every year, thousands of older adults quietly push their bodies past the safe limit without even realizing it. In fact, one mineral, essential in small amounts, can become toxic in doses most people think are healthy, damaging the heart, brain, and even shortening life. I'm Dr. Howard Tucker, and for decades as a longevity doctor, I've watched patients who ate right, exercised, and took their daily vitamins fall victim to this silent overdose. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how it happens, the hidden sources no one talks about, and how you can protect yourself starting now. It was one of the most frustrating cases of my career. A 72-year-old man named Arthur came to me with fatigue, occasional dizziness, and muscle weakness. His heart tests were fine, his blood pressure was normal, and his diet looked almost perfect. Lean proteins, vegetables, no smoking, no alcohol abuse. He took his daily multivitamin, plus a few extra supplements for good measure, as he put it. 3 months later, Arthur collapsed at home. By the time he reached the hospital, his kidneys were failing, his heart rhythm was unstable, and his calcium levels were dangerously high. He passed away within days. The cause wasn't a heart attack or stroke, it was mineral toxicity, specifically calcium overload. Here's the part most people don't realize. The same calcium that's vital for bones and nerves becomes a dangerous poison when levels climb too high. This condition, called hypercalcemia, quietly damages blood vessels, stiffens arteries, disrupts heart rhythm, and can even trigger kidney stones that spiral into kidney failure. And for seniors, the margin between enough and too much can be shockingly small. Arthur wasn't guzzling milk by the gallon or popping candy-like tablets. He was doing what many well-meaning people do, taking a daily multivitamin plus a calcium supplement, plus a fortified protein shake, plus eating calcium-fortified cereal with milk every morning. Added together, he was getting over 2,500 milligrams of calcium a day, nearly double what his body could safely process at his age. The real danger: you won't feel the damage until it's far along. Early symptoms, fatigue, mild confusion, muscle aches, are easily blamed on aging. In reality, excess calcium can silently calcify the very arteries and organs it's supposed to protect. Studies in the British Medical Journal have linked high supplemental calcium intake in older adults to a 20% higher risk of heart attack. And that's without any warning signs beforehand. This isn't about demonizing calcium. It's about balance. Your body needs it, but the safest, most usable calcium often comes from food, where it's paired with other nutrients that keep levels in check. Supplements have their place, but for seniors, high-dose daily use without testing is like driving a car with no speedometer. You have no idea you're headed toward a cliff until it's too late. When most people think of too much calcium, they picture an older adult downing giant supplement pills all day. But the truth is, mineral overload often happens in ways that look healthy on the surface. Calcium is everywhere now, not just in supplements. It's in fortified orange juice, breakfast cereals, plant-based milks, protein powders, energy bars, and even some bottled waters. Add a couple of servings of dairy, and you can easily pass the safe upper limit before lunch. For seniors, whose kidneys are less efficient at filtering excess minerals, that extra load doesn't just pass through, it builds up. One of the sneakiest culprits? Fortified drinks. That glass of almond milk or heart-healthy shake might pack more calcium than a tall glass of dairy milk, and the labels make it sound like a bonus. But unlike food-based calcium that's absorbed slowly, these liquid fortifications hit your bloodstream fast, spiking levels before your body has time to use them. Then there's the multivitamin problem. Many standard formulas still include 200 to 500 milligrams of calcium per serving, on top of whatever you're getting from meals. If you're also taking a separate bone health supplement, you could be stacking doses without realizing it. Even antacids marketed for heartburn relief can quietly push calcium into dangerous territory. Some chewable brands contain 500 to 1,000 milligrams of calcium carbonate per tablet. Pop a few after dinner for reflux, and you've just added another day's worth of calcium before bedtime. And calcium isn't the only mineral that can overload silently. Zinc, for example, is often added to cold remedies, fortified cereals, and energy drinks. While essential for immunity, too much can suppress copper absorption, weaken bones, and impair the nervous system. Selenium, another trace mineral, can become toxic in amounts just a little above the recommended intake, leading to hair loss, fatigue, and even heart rhythm problems. The pattern is always the same. Small doses hiding in everyday products that stack up over the day, creating a total load your body can't safely handle. That's why I tell my patients, don't just read what you're taking, add up how much you're getting. When you do, the numbers can be shocking, but knowing the hidden sources is only half the battle. The real question is, how do you spot early warning signs before mineral overload turns dangerous? The next part is crucial, because once symptoms are obvious, damage may already be underway. Mineral overload is a slow-moving threat, which is exactly why it's so dangerous. You don't wake up one day with flashing lights in your body saying, "Too much calcium." Instead, the signs sneak in, looking like everyday aging. One of the first red flags is persistent fatigue, not just a bad night's sleep, but a bone-deep tiredness that doesn't improve with rest. Excess calcium, magnesium, or other minerals can interfere with how your cells generate energy, leaving you dragging through the day. Muscle weakness is another early clue. When calcium levels rise too high in the bloodstream, it can disrupt the delicate electrical signals between your brain and muscles. You might notice you can't grip as firmly, rise from a chair as easily, or climb stairs without feeling heavier than usual. Then there's frequent urination and excessive thirst. Classic signs your kidneys are working overtime to flush the extra load. For some, this is accompanied by mild dehydration, which can cause dizziness, headaches, or sudden dips in blood pressure. Your digestive system might chime in too. Unexplained nausea, constipation, or loss of appetite can all be linked to high calcium or iron intake. These minerals slow down intestinal movement and alter the balance of electrolytes in your gut. And don't ignore your mood and memory. Several studies, including research published in the New England Journal of Medicine, show that hypercalcemia can cause confusion, irritability, and brain fog long before it causes life-threatening complications. The danger is that every one of these signs, fatigue, weakness, thirst, digestive upset, brain fog, has other possible explanations. Most seniors chalk them up to just getting older. But if they appear together, and especially if you're taking multiple fortified products or supplements, your body may be waving a red flag. I've seen patients who ignored these whispers until they became shouts. Kidney stones, abnormal heart rhythms, or even sudden hospitalizations. The good news? These early warnings are reversible if you catch them in time. Here's the part most people never hear from their doctor in enough detail: the actual safe daily ranges for key minerals after 60, and how to stay in that healthy zone without tipping into overload. Calcium is the one most often taken in excess. For healthy adults over 50, the total daily target from all sources, food plus supplements, is about 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams. The danger line begins at around 2,000 milligrams. That's total intake. If you drink 2 glasses of milk, eat cheese, and take a bone health pill, you may already be over the edge without realizing it. Magnesium is another mineral that can be overdone, especially when people take multiple supplements for sleep or constipation. The recommended intake is around 320 milligrams for women and 420 milligrams for men. Too much, particularly from supplements, can lead to low blood pressure, irregular heart rhythms, and in extreme cases, cardiac arrest. Zinc is essential for immune function, but the safe upper limit for adults is 40 milligrams per day. Beyond that point, zinc starts blocking copper absorption, which over time can weaken bones and the nervous system. Selenium, a trace mineral found in nuts, fish, and supplements, is beneficial in small amounts, about 55 micrograms daily. But the toxic threshold is just 400 micrograms. It's easy to cross that line if you eat Brazil nuts and also take a multivitamin containing selenium. The safest approach is to prioritize food first. Minerals in food come packaged with other nutrients that help your body process them safely. Supplements should be used with precision to fill in specific gaps your diet cannot cover, rather than as a daily habit taken without thought. Checking labels is important so you know exactly what you're getting from fortified drinks, protein powders, multivitamins, and single nutrient supplements. Blood work can also give you a clear picture of whether your levels are optimal or creeping toward excess. The easiest way to stay in the safe zone is to choose one main source for each mineral, either food or a supplement, not both in large amounts at the same time. If you need extra calcium, for example, take a moderate supplement or focus on dairy and leafy greens, but avoid doing both in high doses every day. When your intake is balanced, your body gets what it needs without forcing your kidneys, heart, and arteries to handle the stress of excess. This isn't about cutting out minerals. It's about controlling the amount so they work for you, not against you. Once you're in the right range, your energy improves, digestion steadies, your mind feels clearer, and you remove one more silent threat to long-term independence. Up next, I'll reveal the simple daily habit that helps your body use minerals more effectively, protecting you from both deficiency and overload. It's a habit almost no one over 60 is taught, but it can change everything. If there's one habit I wish every senior knew, it's this. Spread your mineral intake throughout the day instead of taking it all at once. Your body can only absorb and use so much of any mineral in a single sitting. When you flood it with a large dose, especially from supplements, the excess doesn't magically store for later. It either builds up in the wrong places or gets flushed away, wasting both the nutrient and your money. Think of your body like a sponge. A sponge can soak up water slowly and steadily, but if you dump an entire bucket on it, most of that water just spills over the sides. Your digestive system works the same way. By spacing out your mineral-rich foods and any supplements over the course of the day, you give your body a steady supply it can actually use. For example, if you take a calcium supplement, have it with one meal, and get the rest of your calcium from food at other times. If you're taking magnesium, split it between morning and evening. The same applies to zinc, selenium, and other minerals. Smaller, consistent doses help your blood levels stay stable, which is easier on your kidneys and heart and far more effective for long-term health. There's a bonus to this habit. It often improves how you feel within days. Instead of that heavy, sluggish sensation some people get after a big supplement dose, you may notice steadier energy, better digestion, and even clearer thinking. Your muscles and nerves benefit from having a constant trickle of the minerals they need, instead of a flood followed by hours of scarcity. It's a simple shift. Space out your intake and let your body work with you, not against you. This one habit can transform how effectively your body uses every nutrient you take in, and it can quietly reduce the risk of mineral overload without you changing a single thing about what you eat. In the next part, we'll look at the most common mistakes people make when trying to be healthy with supplements, mistakes that can undo all your good intentions in just a few months. When it comes to minerals and supplements, most seniors don't fall into danger because they ignore their health. They get into trouble because they're trying too hard to do the right thing. And that's exactly what makes these mistakes so common. The first big one is assuming that if a little is good, more must be better. This is how people who already get enough calcium from food add a high-dose supplement just to be safe and end up with stiff arteries or kidney stones. The body doesn't work like a savings account where you can keep depositing and never withdraw. Too much of any mineral can tip the balance from helpful to harmful. Another mistake is stacking products without realizing it. Maybe you take a multivitamin in the morning, a separate bone health supplement at lunch, and a fortified protein shake in the afternoon. Each one might look harmless on its own, but together they push your intake far past the safe limit. This kind of layering is one of the main reasons I see mineral overload in patients who swear they eat a balanced diet. Timing mistakes are also surprisingly common. Taking a large dose of calcium with iron, for example, can block the absorption of both. Pairing zinc with high doses of magnesium can have the same effect. People often wash down all their supplements at once for convenience, but in doing so, they're not only risking overload, they're also reducing how much of each nutrient their body can actually use. Then there's the healthy product trap. Food companies love to fortify cereals, snack bars, plant milks, and juices with extra minerals. The labels make it sound like a bonus, but they rarely tell you that if you're also eating a varied diet and taking supplements, you could be doubling or tripling your intake without knowing it. And finally, the habit of never reevaluating your routine can lock you into trouble. What your body needed 10 years ago is not the same as what it needs today. As kidney function, hormone levels, and activity change with age, so does the way your body processes minerals. Sticking to the same high-dose plan year after year without testing is like taking medication without ever checking if you still need it. The good news is, every one of these mistakes is fixable. And once you know what to watch for, you can still take supplements and eat fortified foods without putting your health at risk. Next, I'll share a bonus ritual, a simple science-backed addition to your daily routine that not only protects you from mineral overload, but helps your body use minerals more effectively for stronger bones, sharper thinking, and better energy. If you want to protect yourself from mineral overload while making sure every nutrient you take actually works for you, there's one ritual I recommend to almost all my patients. Pair your minerals with movement. It sounds almost too simple, but here's why it works. When you move, even lightly, blood flow to your muscles, bones, and organs increases. This improved circulation helps carry minerals from your digestive system to the tissues that need them most, instead of letting them linger in the bloodstream where they can cause problems. It's the difference between nutrients sitting in a traffic jam and nutrients cruising down an open highway. You don't need a gym membership or intense workouts to make this happen. Something as small as a 10-minute walk after breakfast, light stretches after lunch, or gentle chair exercises in the evening can create a powerful effect. Research in the Journal of Nutrition shows that light activity after eating improves nutrient uptake and helps regulate blood levels, reducing the risk of both deficiency and excess. The timing is key. If you're taking a supplement or eating a mineral-rich meal, add a short burst of movement within an hour. It could be walking to the mailbox, tending to plants, doing arm circles, or even tidying up the kitchen. These small acts get your heart pumping just enough to deliver minerals where they belong, into your bones, muscles, and cells, before they have a chance to build up in the wrong places. Over time, this ritual does more than just balance minerals. It helps stabilize blood sugar, supports heart health, and keeps your joints and muscles more flexible. And because it's easy to do without special equipment, it's a habit you can keep for life. When my patients add this simple pairing, minerals plus movement, they often notice subtle changes within weeks. Less bloating, more consistent energy, fewer afternoon slumps. It's not magic. It's just biology working the way it was meant to. And now that you know how to balance your intake and boost your body's ability to use what you're already giving it, there's one final takeaway I want to leave you with. A perspective that might just change how you think about supplements, health, and longevity forever. If there's one thing I want you to remember from everything we've covered today, it's this. Health isn't just about what you add. It's about what you control. The right minerals, in the right amounts, can be powerful allies for your heart, brain, and bones. But even the healthiest nutrient can turn against you when the balance tips too far. Your body doesn't keep score of good intentions. It responds to what you actually give it. That means every sip, every bite, every supplement counts toward the total load your system has to process. By spacing your intake, watching hidden sources, and pairing minerals with movement, you turn that load into fuel instead of stress. I've seen patients who thought they were doing everything right. Perfect diet, plenty of exercise, the latest supplements. Completely turn their health around once they started focusing on balance instead of volume. Energy came back. Sleep improved. The little aches and fog that had crept in began to fade. And the best part? They didn't have to give up the foods or routines they loved. They just learned how to make them work for their bodies, not against them. But here's what's even more important. This same principle, small, smart adjustments, applies far beyond minerals. There's another healthy daily habit that millions of people over 60 are doing right now that's quietly accelerating aging in ways no one talks about. It's as common as brushing your teeth, and yet stopping it could add years of strength and clarity to your life. That's exactly what I'm going to uncover next.